Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's second video. We're going to have a look at the weather for its 10 to 14 days for today's second video. Day 10 will take us to the 20th of September, and we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the GFS and ECM ensembles, maybe on a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at the CFS-V2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks. That will get us into the first half of October, and I shall get on that for you in a moment. Just to say that first video release there is our 6 AM UK weather forecast. Please like, share and subscribe on all of today's videos and content, and thank you so much everybody for doing that for GavsWeatherVids. Thank you so much everyone. We need to put on 80 subscribers, by the way, to get ourselves to 18.8k. So if you could give us a sub, that'd be amazing. Thank you so much everyone. Tell friends and family to subscribe as well. Right, we're going to begin in the Gulf of Mexico and the subtropical Atlantic. So 3 interest areas. We have got a yellow X, an orange X, and we've got now named tropical storm Francine. Well, let's deal with the yellow X first of all. That is disturbance 2. Got a 70% chance of cyclone formation in the next 7 days. That could well become a tropical storm and or hurricane. We've also got disturbance 1 with a 40% chance of cyclone formation in the next 2 days and in the next 7 days as well. So that's one to keep an eye on. And then we've got tropical storm Francine in the Gulf of Mexico, giving maximum sustained winds of 65 miles per hour with a minimum set pressure of 990 millibars, and Francine is moving northwards at 5 miles per hour. Click on Francine and go here. We can see this is predicted to become a hurricane imminently. So currently tropical storm Francine is there. Within the next few hours Francine is there as a hurricane, and they're moving northwards onto the Gulf Coast of Louisiana by Wednesday into Thursday as a hurricane, moves inland, moves inland through the southern portion of America at the end of the week, where it becomes weaker and dissipates, loses its energy. Now, if we go to discussion, let's see how strong it's predicted to get. So, currently giving maximum sustained winds of 65 miles per hour. In 12 hours, 80 miles per hour, maximum sustained winds. That's Category 1 hurricane. In 36 hours, up to 100 miles per hour, maximum sustained. So that is a low-end Category 2 hurricane, I think, there. As it moves onto the coast of southern America, Louisiana. So quite a significant impact. You know, Category 2 might be low end, but will still pack a real punch. You can imagine like maximum sustained winds, not just gusts, but gusts will be in excess of that, but like the sustained winds of 100 miles per hour. That is pretty devastating. No, it's going to be a wild time down there on the southern coast of America, and there will be a lot of heavy rain and flooding through Louisiana and Mississippi through to Thursday as well. So definitely will be one to watch and one to keep an eye on. Well, going back home, the central temperature has inched down. We're now sitting at 16.7, so we're under 17 degrees. That's 3.2 degrees above the 61 to 99 average. That's going to carry on dropping now through the rest of the week. So I would imagine by the weekend, we're probably going to see that in the 15s. I think we'll tumble up 16s, drop into the 15s when we get through to the weekend, and then we shall see where we go after that. But definitely, like, the temperature for this month has peaked. We're not going to have a 17 Celsius CT September, I don't think, such as we had last year. That was the warmest September on CT record. I'm sure you remember it well. These are the 500 millibar hydron flow charts, Penn State University, from Penn State University, I should say, for the next week to 10 days. Got the ECM WF on the top, GFS down here on the bottom, 500 millibars, 80 miles peak. It's an area in the actual high pressure, low pressure. I've been moved around by jet stream running above. Red extrapolates to excuse me again, everybody. Red extrapolates to above average heights, which is high pressure, blue to below average heights, which is low pressure. Check this out. The ECM has a big area of high pressure dominating in the 7 to 10 day time frame across much of northern Europe, actually, and it does extend into west. It's really like almost like a Siberian high type thing. Quite unusual for September. We'll bring the wind in from the east, but it'll be quite a warm easterly, you know, it won't be cold easterly. But the main thing is that it's high and dry there, again, through the 3rd week of September. And the GFS is very similar. Again, a large area of above average heights covering much of northern, central, eastern, northeastern, and western and northwestern Europe as well. Low pressure down in the Mediterranean around Italy and whatnot. Winds coming in again from an easterly direction there. So they're both building up high pressure very strongly as we're going into the 7 to 10 day time frame. It looks like we're going to be high and dry for the third week of September. These are the GFS upper air temperature precipitation ensembles next couple of weeks. With Edinburgh today, red line into the 30-year upper air temperature average for Edinburgh. Starting off with a cold snap, of course, at the moment. We're going to have some very chilly nights to come. That's why I think CT will be tumbling into the 15s over the next few days and whatnot. However, we get through to the weekend and the beginning of next week, we see a recovery in the upper air temperatures, returning to be somewhat above average, and staying rather above average through the third week and into the final week of September, perhaps. So once we get this cold snap out of the way, and it is a potent cold snap, don't get me wrong, but once we get cold snap out of the way, then the temperatures are on their way back up again. Precipitation-wise, reasonably dry. I mean, there are precipitation spikes, as you'd expect. It's September, so we're going further on into the autumn over the next couple of weeks. So we're going to struggle to maintain completely dry weather, but nevertheless, for Edinburgh, for the next couple of weeks, that's a reasonably dry ensemble graph until right at the very, very end, just here when we're getting towards month's end, it might turn more unsettled. But of course, that's a long way off extended range, therefore it's unreliable. Temperature anomaly is from the 18th September, below average, and the cold average sort of week to come. Most parts of Europe included in that. I'd expect these temperature anomaly maps to start lifting up again, though, in the next few days and going warmer than average once more. Precipitation anomalies from the 10th to the 18th September, drier than average in most parts of the country, especially England and Wales. Latest wind from that from earthnullschool.net shows got a deep area of low pressure between Scotland and Norway today. There's a weather front through here, bringing a band of rain, and behind that, the wind is turning into the northwest and will eventually go into the north. If we drag the map down, you can see that although it has a long sea fetch across the North Atlantic, the air is actually originating from a true Arctic source here, so that's the reason that for September, won't be anything out of the ordinary until November, December, but for September, this is going to be quite a potent northerly blast, actually, in the coming few days, so cover up your delicates if you want to keep them going a bit long, because there will be ground frost, over the next several nights, and air frost, I think, is likely in the north. Right, let's start going with chart data. Miss UK Met Euro Run is looking for midnight on Friday. High pressure beginning to ridge in from the Atlantic, then starting to cut off that northerly flow into the weekend. All change. We start to bring milder air in from the Atlantic. Mostly dry in the south, will be some showing rain up in the north, and as we get to the end of the UK Met Run, well, low pressure messing about in the northwest, but high pressure trying to build generally across northern and western Europe there. Icon, again, showing that we change to wind direction over the weekend to a warmer, or certainly milder, southwesterly. Unsettled in the north, main dry down the south. Early next week, another low pressure punching through. No, up to Tuesday, not much sign of a sustained build of pressure there with either the UK Met or Icon. Let's have a look at the KMA, though, see what that one's doing. Again, over the weekend, main dry and warmer in the south. Probably still showy boat up in the north. Into next week, KMA really building high pressure strongly. So KMA definitely going for this build of pressure next week. Eventually taking the high towards Scandinavia. So possibly showing signs of bringing in an EC flow eventually. But next week looking mostly dry, and it will be warmer, but probably not excessively warm next week. I don't think we're going to be looking at a heat wave next week, but pleasantly warm, I suppose. Have got the remains of a hurricane or something down there, by the way, close to the Azores. Right, well, let's go on to the GFS midnight run, which we know is going to build pressure strongly in the 7 to 10 day time frame, because we've seen it on the 500 millibar high Tomley flow chart. Let's see what happens, though. So Friday, we're ridging up high pressure from the southwest, bringing dry but quite cool weather. Move again into weekend, mostly dry in the south, a little bit showery up in the north. Next week, high pressure building strongly across Western Europe. So here we go, check this out. Large area of high pressure takes over around day 7, 8, 9 and 10. Bring in a warm easterly flow. Again, I don't think we'll be looking at a heat wave with that, but it probably lifts the temperature back to the sort of low 20s anyway. Nights could still be a little bit on the cool side. That could be warm. A wind shifting round to more a southerly, though, as we get through to the weekend of the 21st, 22nd of September. That could bring some genuine warmth back up from the south. And then after that, though, low pressure starts coming in from the Atlantic, but with very extended range now, but eventually turning more unsettled with low pressure heading in from the west, and some bands of rain too, probably. That's a reliable time frame. GFS 6Z, by comparison, again, we build pressure over the weekend and then sustained build of pressure through next week, 1030 millibar, and high pressure sitting across the north and west of Europe, bringing lots of dry, fine and warm weather with it. This is classic September high pressure stuff, I have to say. Very, very typical for September. And it gets the GavsWeatherVids auto forecast back on track, so you won't hear me complaining about it, really. But anyway, mostly dry, fine and warm as we get through day 10. And then beyond that, high pressure is sticking around until we get to the very end of GFS 6Z, when low pressure then starts breaking it down. We hint at going a little bit more unsettled there, but of course that's a long way off, 26th of September. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share and subscribe. Thanks so much everyone for doing that. Why not drop a comment? Let's know what you think about this and all of our videos and content. And don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids and get them to subscribe too. And it's amazing, it's incredible. Thanks so much for doing that. We've got on 80 subscribers to get ourselves to 18.8k. So if you could give us a sub, that would be absolutely awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. Okay, GM, once again, building that high pressure up from southwest on Friday over the weekend. Main dry in the south, becoming a bit warmer, showery up in the north. Next week, high pressure builds even more strongly through the northwest Europe. Check that out, 1030 millibar area of high pressure right over the top of the UK and Ireland. Despite the red colours, you know, I don't think it's excessively hot. So you might look at that and think we're in for a heat wave next week. Remember, the colours don't necessarily translate to temperature. They're more to do with heights, really. So the intensity of the colour there is really telling us that this is an intense area of high pressure. But I don't think it's going to be excessively hot through the course of next week. But it will be quite warm and pleasant, and they'll be back to sunshine at that high pressure, misty mornings, all of that sort of thing, you know, classic early autumn, late summer, September, you know, weather, 1035 millibar area of high pressure right over the top of the country there with the gem. And then the ECM rounding it all off, you know, this one's going to build pressure strongly as well. So high pressure rising up from the southwest on Friday. Then we really go to town with high pressure into next week. A little bit showery in the north through to the beginning of next week. But high pressure then increasingly building through the course of next week. It is extending back towards high pressure over Russia, which is somewhat unusual. But there we see at day 10, high pressure, one trillion in control. Warmest, driest weather and sunniest weather, probably in the north, and in the south, we're bringing in a little bit of an easterly flow, or a northeasterly flow, which might bring more cloud and a few showers even. But basically, we're high and dry through the third week of September there. Notice the ECM just starting to move some sort of hurricane or tropical storm into the extreme left of screen as you're looking at it by day 10. This is a precipitation forecast based on the ECM run from Meteo.com. Band of rain coming south today on a cold front, introducing this push of cooler or colder northwesterly to northerly winds. Next week, looking rather showery, or I should want to talk about end of the week, looking rather showery and cool. Into the weekend, though, the wet weather goes back to the north, south becomes mostly dry, and then next week we should see high pressure drying things out. Yeah, so most of the precipitation just vanishes as we go through next week. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensemble today for day 10 from the Icelandic Met Office. Gets us to the 20th of September. 18 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure across the north and west of Europe. mostly dry, fine and warm. 15 with high pressure. That's a little bit more towards Scandinavia, so slightly more of an easterly flow. But again, should be mostly fine and warm. Easterlies in September, going to be reasonably warm. 13, again, with high pressure. Generally a little bit to the north and to the northeast, so a little bit of an easterly flow down in the south. That does include the Kichami operational run. And then a minority option 5 looking more unsettled with some lower pressure coming in off the Atlantic. But if we put the 18 together with the 15 together with 13, despite the fact that they're differing very slightly on the placement of high pressure, basically looking high and dry with the vast majority of the ECM ensembles at day 10. And then in 2 weeks' time, if it will move over, is it going to move over? What's happening here? Let's have a look. Yes, so in 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. And it gets us to the 25th of September. 15 members of the ECM ensembles then inching the high pressure towards the west of Scotland. So it's still high and dry, still mostly fine. A little bit cooler though, with wind direction with that coming in more from the northeasterly direction. 12 with high pressure between Iceland and Norway, so a lot of dry weather with that, but winds in from the east. It could be perhaps a little bit of a showy side down in the south. We've got 10 with high pressure right over top of the country, extending up towards Scandinavia. That's mostly dry. And 5, we've got 8 with high pressure over to the west of the country. That could be rain dry, but could be a little bit on the showy side. And then we've got 6 with high pressure in the middle of the Atlantic, heading up towards Greenland. Trough of low pressure drops in Scandinavia. That brings in more of a northwesterly wind, and that could be a little bit showery for the east, and certainly rather cool. So both day 10 and day 14, the ECM ensembles indicating high pressure in control. The devil is in the detail of where high pressure is sitting in terms of what the temperature, etc. is doing. But I think we're in for a lot of dry weather here for the second half of September if the ECM and its ensembles are correct. CFS-V2, finally, these are 500 millibar heights. So I'm just breaking down into week periods. The first week period take us from the 10th to 16th of September. The next week looks rather cool and showery. Low pressure to the east, high pressure to the west, and winds coming in from a northwesterly direction. Week 2, all change. High pressure building up from the south, 17th to 23rd of September. High and dry there across the north and the west of Europe. Week 3 will be the 24th. Whoops, highlight again. Will be the 24th. 30th of September, high pressure again sitting just to the south, mostly dry, and 5 to the south. That's a little bit more showery up in the north. And then finally, week 4 is the 1st to the 7th of October, and high pressure sitting right over the top of the country, so that'll be mostly dry and fine start to October as well. And whose awesome forecast went for lots of high pressure in September and October, followed by a change to unsettled weather in November? I wonder. Anyway, we'll see how it all works out. It's only one CFS run, so we'll wait and see. Right, we're done. If you've enjoyed the video, please do like, share, and subscribe. Please show everyone for doing that. Drop a comment. Let us know what you think about this and all of our videos and content. And don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. Get them to subscribe to it. And thank you so much for doing about 80 subscribers. Gets us to 18.8k. So if you could give us a sub, that would be awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. Right, just tell us having on our channel tomorrow. Well, it's Wednesday, so it means we're going to be live at 6 p.m. But before that, we're going to have our 6 a.m. UK weather forecast. And we've got the EC Extended European Outlook tomorrow as well. That's normally on a Tuesday, but we've changed days with that for the time being. 2 weeks up to bring back Stratwatch in November. Anyway, and then the Extended European Outlook will move back to Tuesday. But for the time being, for the next few weeks, the Extended European Outlook is going to be on Wednesday, so that will be released as well tomorrow. And then, as I said, we'll be live at 6 p.m. with your 10 to 14 dayer. And that's going to be epic. I shall see you live tomorrow at 6. But for this video and for today's videos, that's all for now. And thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.